Lord Shiva said, "My dear Parvati, now I will relate to you the glories of the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita." Along the banks of the river Narmada, in a town called Mahishmati, lived a learned Brahmana named Madhava. He strictly adhered to the Vedic injunctions and possessed all the good qualities of the Brahmanical class. His extensive knowledge garnered him considerable charity, which he then used to organize a grand fire sacrifice. For offering in sacrifice, a goat was bought, and when they started to cleanse that goat in preparation for the sacrifice, to everyone's great surprise, the goat started to laugh and in a loud voice said, "O Brahmana, what is the benefit of performing so many fire sacrifices that simply entraps us in the cycle of birth and death? Just look at my situation, which is a result of performing so many fire sacrifices." When all those present there heard the words of the goat, they became curious. The Brahmana inquired with folded hands, "How did you become a goat? In your previous life, which caste did you belong to? And what activities did you perform?" The goat replied, "O Brahmana, in my past birth, I was born in a very pure Brahmana family, and I diligently performed all the ritualistic activities enjoined in the Vedas. My son became seriously ill, and my wife wished to worship Durga in hopes of curing our child's illness. To facilitate this, she asked me to bring a goat. When we sacrificed the goat at the temple of Mother Durga, the goat cursed me. 'O sinful lowest of all, you wish to make my children fatherless? For this reason, you will also take birth as a goat.' O Madhava, when my time of death arrived, I attained the body of a goat. But by the grace of Lord Sri Govinda, I can remember my previous births. If you wish to hear one other interesting story, I shall tell you. In the holy place known as Kurukshetra, which is capable of giving liberation, there once lived a king named Chandrasharma, who was in the dynasty of the sun god. Once, during solar eclipse, the king wished to give charity to one Brahmana. Included in that charity was a Shudra whose body was completely black. After going with his priest and taking bath in the sacred lake, putting on clean clothes and applying sandalwood, he returned to his place. With devotion, he gave charity to a qualified Brahmana. After he had presented the charity, all of a sudden, from that black Shudra's heart, a very sinful chandala, dogeater, appeared, and after a little while, a female chandala appeared from that black Shudra's body, and together they went near the Brahmana. All of a sudden, they entered the body of the Brahmana, who remained undisturbed and began to recite the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita while meditating on Lord Govinda. The king, witnessing all these activities, was stunned and speechless. As soon as the Brahmana uttered the divine words from the 9th chapter, Vishnu Dutas appeared and drove away the two chandalas. At that time, the king inquired from the Brahmana, "O learned one, who were the two individuals and which mantra did you chant? Which deity were you remembering?" The Brahmana replied, "Sin personified appeared in the guise of a chandala, accompanied by offense personified in the form of a female chandala. At that moment, I started chanting the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, which has the power to free one from all fearful circumstances. By reciting this chapter, I am always able to remember the lotus feet of Lord Govinda." Upon hearing this, the king learnt the chanting of the 9th chapter of Bhagavad Gita from the Brahmana. Over time, he succeeded in reaching the lotus feet of Lord Sri Govinda. When Madhava heard this discourse from the goat, he immediately freed the goat and started to engage in reciting the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita every day. He too ultimately attained the lotus feet of Lord Sri Govinda.